here's the thing. For so long, I would inhibit my desire to freestyle rap because I thought you had to have rhymes with different words.
Yeah, no.
And then Vivek sounds like
Open up a new universe.
He opened my eyes. Like the
that you don't have to have talent or skill to be a rapper.
It's a shields. It just fell from my eyes.
Yeah.
Scales.
Yeah.
Eyes. When I realized, like, oh, you can rhyme the same word.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ramaswamy, word to your mommy.
Life hack.
They call us Nazis, but we're not. See?
Oh!
Let's play that clip. Here is from, this is on
DJ Vivek.
CNN's El Reeve. Is at the Turning Points USA conference earlier this month, and was looking into Vivek's candidacy. And here is, she interviewed Vivek Ramaswamy about his views on wokeness and how, racism is sort of like, not really. Oh, well, let's just play the clip.
Yeah.
As a negative thing. My
as a symptom of a deeper cancer.
Okay, well, a symptom of cancer is not a positive thing.
No, but it's a precision about how I would talk about it. It's a symptom.
My objection is not that there's not annoying people on Twitter. Like, of course there are.
Yeah, let's put that to one side.
But there are problems of racism in this country, and I have concerns that what you were telling the audience is like, actually, no, there isn't. There's no more problems. There's nothing that needs to be addressed. There are no more disparities. You don't have to worry about that anymore. And you can even be angry that someone asked you to worry about that.
I think the right way to deal with what I view as the last final burning embers of racism is to let it quietly burn out rather than trying to put that fire out by accidentally throwing kerosene on it.
Pause it for 1 second. I just like, this is important to sort of like, his whole thing is it's a symptom. It's just the idea that racism hasn't been a part of this country since its inception, and that there's only now brief embers of racism in the country, and like, it's both sort of like catastrophizing it and diminishing it at the same time. The fact is that it is a part of our society. It exists. And
it's not Godzilla raging through a town and then like it's slowly dying away, right? It's just an omnipresent force.
And I think that it is very possible to argue that it is not as intense as it was in the past. And obviously, like, you're not allowed to enslave people anymore. But it's really nuts how much he is sort of has to bury his head in the sand about this. And then what they do is they just go play clips from his booth, I guess, at Turning Points just a month earlier.
So some of the embers?
Mm-hmm.
Always go out quietly, which was evident.
Go back. Okay.
We have a little bit of a dark side here.
The idea that also that it's going to go out on its own. That if you bring it up and point it out, what you're doing is you're inflaming it. In other words, he's basically saying racism is a function of people being upset about racism.
Yeah.
He who should not be named.
I'd say maybe the kerosene is like people like Steven Crowder, Tim Pool, the people that Vivek shows he goes on.
Oh, easy, like a great way to deflect from yourself.
Well, I mean, those guys show like, here's like some inner city crime with some black teenagers. It's like that's how they start their show, their opening segment. Like that's the kerosene trying to get those embers back up. But
last final burning embers of racism is to let it quietly burn out rather than trying to put that fire out by accidentally throwing kerosene on it.
But those embers don't always go out quietly, which was evident even at this conference.
We have a little bit of the dark side here. We have
a Star of David crossed out that says soon. Now that's a 4chan joke saying there'll be another Holocaust. We also have 1488. That is also a Nazi joke. So I got 2 Nazi jokes here. Everything else, though, pretty positive. When CNN pointed out these notes, a Turning Point spokesman took them down. You're not responsible for the people who put that up, but it was just a very stark reminder that that kind of bigotry still exists, and it is in a lot of places that you wouldn't expect.
I can't speak to that particular instance. I'll tell you my experience in this country. Have I experienced racism? Yes, I have. But I reject the myth that hardship is the same thing as victimhood.
That's why we live affirmative action in every sphere.
Stop telling
Affirmative action in every sphere.
No one says hardship.
is
Yeah.
I mean, what if the hardship is like just based on the color of your skin? We can predict how much worse COVID impacted you financially. Like,
Well, he's basically blaming.
based upon the color of your skin, we can also predict percentage-wise what the average wealth is in your neighborhood, what your opportunity to get a job is. I mean, your opportunity to get a loan is. I mean, there's so much.
maybe you're not victim in your mind, but you are impoverished, relatively speaking.
But that's how he views non-white people who speak out about racism. It seems like you are presenting yourself as a victim. You could be like me, Vivek, the MC, where I'm also a VC, right? That was his past profession as a venture capitalist. Can we double check that? Either way, that is essentially what he's trying to say, is personalizing people's general the general trends of racism to make it about their own fault. He was good enough to rise above it and make a ton of money.
Well, I wonder if when he was faced with racism, if he said, I'm not going to say anything about it. Don't worry. It's cool. Lefty band teacher says, classic Boy Scout technique of just letting the embers go out by themselves. Surely the fire will reignite itself.
Yeah, it's a great metaphor. It's fine.
It's
Go
fine.
out.
And accidentally pouring gasoline on it? That's what he said? I mean, it seems bizarre. It's a big accident
I want
to
to
do.
pour some water on that.
Yeah, right.
Nah, it's fine. Just let it go. Let's go.
Salted
Let's go home.
like, it's just like camping. You start the fire, go to sleep, and hope for the best.
It's just
We all
embers.
know
Yeah,
this.
stop obsessing over those embers.
Yeah, right.
Wokes. Wokes